What is perspective? A particular way of regarding something, a point of view. A different, or a second definition in regards to art is the drawing of a solid object to give the right impression of height, depth, and position in relation to each other when viewed from a particular point. The second definition, even though it's referencing art, states that it must be viewed from a specific point. In other words, from the artist's point of view, or how the artist sees it. In other words, the only way that you would be able to see what the artist is portraying, to see it from their point of view. Does that make looking at it from another point of view wrong, or seeing something different? Some will see it that way, some will see it in a different way. Vivek Ranadive lived out a story of being an underdog. The way that he overcame his obstacles was by taking on a new perspective. He was a man from Mumbai who took a head coaching position of a girls' national junior basketball team when his daughter, 12 years old, joined them. Culturally, he was familiar with cricket and soccer. He knew absolutely nothing about basketball. He studied the games and still didn't have a real understanding. He vowed to have two principles. He would never yell at the girls, and he would play a real full court press. The team consisted of what he called little blonde girls, daughters of computer programmers and nerds. By playing the conventional way, they would set themselves up to lose every single time. He had to change his perspective. He had to have them play differently than the conventional way. Trained to never let up and to put on the pressure 100% of the time, the girls would play the full court press every time. Where they lacked in height and shot skill, they made up for by playing an intense defense. People spoke about this. They were confrontational, mean, and some even would try and fight him during and after the games. He kept doing what he had to do to get a win for his girls. They ended up at the national championships. The team they were playing supplied everything, even a ref. They followed his girls because they didn't feel that the way that they were playing was the way that basketball should be played. Ranadive called off the press, but not without making a point. Goliath is not quite the giant he thinks he is. Although the point of this story was the overcoming of an underdog, I felt that it was saying something else. I felt that it was saying that somebody who chose to go against the norm because he had to do something to make it work, he had to look at it from a different perspective. The teams he played practiced the conventional way. They practiced offensively. They were not prepared and would lose because of it. Was he wrong? According to the other coaches, he was. He played by the rules, he just had a different approach. We come across obstacles all the time, and the way that we deal with them and see them is our own perspective. I can think of countless times where if I would have just waited and looked at things in another way, my responses would have been immensely different. We all have perspectives, but to have the ability to see them from other perspectives than your own could open you up to a whole new chance of possibilities. You'll never know what someone else sees unless you look at it the way they see it first.